Hey guys, Sebious here with another Sebious Speaks. Today I wanted to talk about what I'm kind of calling my video game Fugue at the moment. I just, it's mainly a console thing, I think, to be honest. Like, I'm playing a lot of things on the PC. Last few months I've really kind of discovered the joys of Steam and some games on there. Been playing a bit of Space Hulk and Hearthstone and Talisman and a few things like that. But just, there's something about the whole next gen and the games that are out at the moment that just is not quite touching the size, not quite satisfactory. That's really doing what we want, and there's just so many games that are just around the corner that are really exciting. So we got our Xbox One when it was released, and Rise was amazing. It was really exciting, and FIFA 14 is still amazing. It's been amazing from the start. It's probably one of the best games that there is. But Rise kind of really, once you've completed it, once you've really kind of mastered it, it's very repetitive. But the story was great and the game was great, and it was served an amazing purpose as a kind of demo for what next gen could possibly look like and do. But there's just been so many little things that were going to be really exciting, but then just didn't end up being as exciting as kind of advertised or kind of hyped up to be. I've already talked about it before, but Watch Dogs is a big one of those. I know I spent quite a long time playing it, and I really did rinse the mini games and things, but just the story was kind of lacking because Aiden is such a difficult character to actually empathize with and think's cool. He is an anti-hero, but he's an anti-hero that lacks any of the kind of coolness of an anti-hero, and that's the kind of just, yeah, it was a kind of huge disappointment with Watch Dogs, really, because it always seemed that the hacking was going to be a big part of it, and it can be a big part of it, but it's the magic Ubisoft button, which is X if you're Xbox and Square if you're PlayStation. But it had some moments and it filled some time and it was fun, and does have some great aspects, but it just didn't quite do it for me. And then there was Wolfenstein: The New Order. It's just, these are two games that are just waiting for me to complete, that I just haven't had the impetus to want to complete them, to be honest, because like with Wolfenstein: The New Order, the whole kitsch and the whole aesthetic and the modern Nazis, because Nazis are fascinating. Like, Nazis are freaking evil and should be hated and all that sort of stuff, obviously, but just their evil is kind of fascinating in itself, and bringing that into a more modern, taking it into different eras, was just a really fascinating thing. But the gameplay for a next generation first person shooter was just so clunky and arcade, but in the sort of negative use of the word arcade, because like arcade stuff's awesome, but when you're kind of presenting a beautiful looking game with a rather interesting and kind of storyline that is almost enough to carry it, but the gameplay just there's something too simple about it. I think I probably actually had a bit more fun playing the Nightmare, the old school Wolfenstein within the game. Just because it has that old school cool aspect to it. But it's just this thing, and then so obviously there was the Destiny beta, which I've talked about at length, but just about how much I absolutely adored it and how much I fell in love with it. It's been a serious marmite for people. I know there's some people are absolutely loving it, like myself. I am rabid, and the 9th of September cannot come sooner. I'm so glad it came sooner, but it's still not here, and I need it. But other people weren't as impressed. Some people finding the MMO aspect not so good. I know I was one of those people before I actually got my hands on it, but once I played it, beard stroking excitement. But the beta coming out and getting that little taste of it, it's kind of spoiled me. It's kind of ruined me for games at the moment, I think. And there is like I said, there's been games that just haven't quite cut the mustard with the whole potential of next gen, and just kind of immersion and wanting me to keep playing. There's aspects to them that are really, really good, but just the whole package doesn't come together. And I just find myself waiting. I'm rapidly, obviously, waiting for Destiny, which is coming all so very soon, and then the Shadows of Mordor, FIFA 15. I know people go a bit crazy when you talk about sports and computer games, but hey, sports games are cool too. I think I've covered that before. And so many Project Spark. There's so many. There's going to be Cops and Robbers. I refuse to call Hardline Battlefield Hardline. It is Battlefield Cops and Robbers for sure. And Rainbow Six. There's just so much that we saw at E3 a while ago that just got so excited, and just it's just this kind of, maybe it's a kind of case of the grass is always greener. Like, that definitely could be an aspect of it, and some of these games could come along and then be a bit disappointing. But it just feels that things aren't here right now, but they are just over there. They're almost touchable. You can almost reach out and play them, but they're not quite here just yet. And I think I can't wait for that. And I look forward so much to the next couple of months and the games coming out, and hopefully getting to play them and talk to you guys about them, and maybe sharing some stuff, about the experiences with those. But that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is the fact that just I feel like I'm in this fugue. Like, we've still got the Xbox 360, and I'm really enjoying the games with gold and getting to play a few other things. For instance, I've just started playing Dishonored. I missed it the first time round and kind of enjoying it this time, but in a weird way, it's Bethesda again. It's very, very similar to Wolfenstein with the powers added. Again, I love the aesthetic, and the story seems to be rather cool and what it is that you're doing. But again, the controls are very clunky and weird. I had to change all the settings to make sure, because right bumper and for block and right trigger for attack is a bit cumbersome. It's not quite nice having both triggers for block and attack. And I know you're not really supposed to kill people in a game like that. It's supposed to be more sneaky, but I am about as sneaky in games as I am in real life, which is not particularly sneaky. It's very, very difficult to be sneaky with a pair of crutches outside. But it just, games that are kind of combat and assassinatory around, they just needs to be some more in-depth fighting system. It's something that seems to plague a lot of Bethesda games that aren't Elder Scrolls. Now, we all know how awful the combat system was on Morrowind, but at the time it was a beautiful thing, and I would love to try and play it now, and I look forward to try and play the Oblivion and Morrowind, Skywind, that's it. The mods and things that people have built the game of Morrowind in the other systems for PC. But Oblivion really improved, and Skyrim is really fun. It's still really fun, and it seems quite simple, and it is quite simple, but there is a rewarding and smooth aspect to the combat. And that's something that I think really with Next Gen needs to be a focus, because it's all very well good being the most beautiful, shiny thing with a great story, but if the gameplay doesn't have that kind of replay ability and that really engrossing aspect, then it just doesn't have the shelf life that the next gen game price tag kind of needs to have. I know there's the EA Sports Access, which sounds like an awesome thing, for £20, I think, English, for a year. That's something we're going to be definitely looking at for like getting to try out other games and seeing how things go. Things are getting a bit dark. I think I'm going to touch a bit of light on the action. There we go. But yeah, for the fact that we're at this next generation place, with the potential and the power behind these games, and the price tag that comes along with them, there just needs to be something that's going to keep me playing, keep me interested, make sure I'm getting kind of my money's worth of interest, because it's definitely something that I feel's lacking. Like, for instance, one of the things with Wolfenstein that kind of I thought was very odd is many games have a sort of lean system, so you can lean, look round corners and shoot round corners without being seen. But the Wolfenstein one was crazy, because presumably if you're leaning, you're kind of going on kind of that kind of axis, and you can lean as far as you can lean, unless you're Michael Jackson and you can go all the way, because he's a smooth criminal, and that's fine. But yeah, in Wolfenstein you were kind of going completely horizontal, or even beyond that. So you're kind of doing a handstand, but the character's definitely not doing a handstand. And there's a disconnect there that's kind of weird. And I need Destiny. It's a few weeks away, but it just needs to happen. And I'm really looking forward to getting more into the story, because I really enjoyed the gameplay, and I really enjoyed the little snippets and the moon kind of event that they had and things that are going on. I just need it, and I just know it's something I'm going to be investing so much time in and just enjoying and really getting into that world, because I really kind of rinsed the beta for all it was worth. We only kind of swapped, Sarah and I, when it was kind of a couple of hours on, a couple of hours off, and it's just something that I need. That and Shadows of Mordor. Just, I know again that's the game. Some people are not like people. People are weird about the Tolkien franchise and the whole Lord of the Rings, all the material and stuff there that people do. I personally didn't enjoy the Hobbit films that are currently coming out very much. There's something a bit too twee to them, and people say the Hobbit book is more of a child's book, and it is, but it's not written as sort of twee as the films are themselves. There's some great bits in them, and there's some great people in them, but as a whole, they're just not built with the love of the Lord of the Rings. But Shadows of Mordor, which is something that people are saying, oh, do they really need to do more stuff and stuff with the Wraith and Mordor and all that? But it sounds like it's really deeply entrenched in the lore and the canon, and it looks like it's going to be so much fun to play. The combat system looks awesome. The Wraith powers look incredible. I just can't wait to be building up my own army of orcs and having them elevate to ranks. I just love the idea that you could get to a serious kind of boss battle, and if you've played it this way and you've built it this way, you could have basically square up to them go, why have you turned, you realise I've got a whole army of orcs with me, and then you just turn around and they are all actually your own, and you swarm the guy. I love the idea of that. Although I'm sure I'm going to be killing far too many people to actually be ranking them up, because I just like to be rather aggressive when it comes to combat and stuff in games. But yeah, I think that's the thing I'm saying. Like I don't want to. I'm not saying anything bad about the Xbox or PlayStation, but next gen just needs that push, and it feels like that push is, we're on the edge of this first big wave of games that are gonna really tap into that potential, and I just need it in my face now. Please, can I have it? Not for a few weeks, but I will. And yeah, so yes, hopefully the joy is coming. So I'm not trying to complain. I'm not saying anything bad, because especially when PlayStation 4 has the Last of Us remastered, which is something that makes me cry a little inside, because I don't have a PlayStation 4, and it's the one thing that I really want. But that is a previous generation game that's been ported forward, so it's still not a whole new thing. But the new stuff is coming, and it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to be sharing in the joy and awesome of it when it does come. But for now, I'm in this weird place where I'm trying to find other things to keep me occupied, because the console it's kind of gently weeping in the corner, because it just needs a bit more. And Titanfall is there. Titanfall is one of the other games that is, until I played the Destiny beta, I would say it was the best game on the Xbox One, although it is on the Xbox 360 as well. And I'm not sure it's on other consoles, but there is the kind of intergenerational thing with it. But as I've said again in other videos, I don't always have the brain for how fast-paced and crazy it is, and it will. But with Destiny, there is a kind of, even with the multiplayer, it's not too fast and too crazy, but it is really enjoyable. And just, I'm sure I've said it before, and I'll say it again, just how much better the multiplayer for Destiny is, when Destiny is a kind of MMO FPS, how much better than Halo 4 it was. It's just, it has no right to have straight up matchmaking PvP that good, because it is so good. And I know Halo 4 is a big bugbear of mine. It had some amazing moments, don't get me wrong, but just after Reach, the multiplayer just didn't replace Reach. But yeah, but good stuff to come, amazing stuff to come, and I will be sharing my joy about the new stuff to come. But I just find myself waiting and playing lots of older things, because I can go back to old fun and old games I haven't yet played, just to kind of keep me tide things over until, yeah, Destiny, Shadows of Mordor, Mortal Kombat X, that looks like it's going to be amazing. So much good stuff coming. And I kind of want to apologise, I haven't really commented or kind of kept up with Gamescom when it came, because I've just been so excited about these games. I don't want to see anymore. I don't want to be any more tempted, and I've kind of been avoiding that news a little bit, which kind of seems counterproductive, but it's because I need it. It's the same reason I haven't found time to watch all the Eternal Crusade, the Warhammer 40k MMO game that's coming out, which is going to be like a third-person MMO, third PS player shooter. Because again, I'm just so excited. I don't want things to get me anymore because I might explode. Because the joy and the goodness is coming, and I cannot wait for that. So yeah, I look forward to sharing more of that with you then, and thank you for listening to me ramble about this now. I'll catch you guys later, and I hope you have some fun gaming. Again, I'm Darth Sebious, and this is Sebious Speaks for Allies Index, a place for all things geeky gaming. AlliesIndex.com. Check us out for all the kind of video games, tabletop, card games, board games, all of that sort of stuff on there, as well as some news and things. And we welcome anyone sharing their own models, adventures, reviews, experiences, stories, cosplay, anything to do with geek gaming. Get in touch with us, submit, and we will share it with other people because it's all about sharing the joy. And if you have ideas for a regular kind of article or a regular thing you want to do with us, we can talk to you and get you on the blog and get you doing that. So that's awesome as well. So yeah, again, I'm Darth Sebious for Allies Index, and I'll catch you guys later. Taddy bye.